Okay, so we're going to play 3 chords, all right? We're going to play the F, the B flat, and the C, all right? We're going to start on F. 1, 2, on the F, 2, ready, go. F. Here's B flat, back to F. Here's B flat again, B flat, back to F. Here comes C, C, B flat, and F. Let's do it again. Ready? Here we go. On F. F. B flat. F. B flat. Back to F. Now what's next? What's next?
Why couldn't I play that chord without my teacher telling me? I've studied this tune and played it a million times.
Well, it may be true that this student played Sunny Moon for Two by Sonny Rollins a million times. The information she needed to perform was given to her each time. She never had to retrieve the chord names from her memory bank. This week's episode of the Monday Minute focuses on retrieval practice, also known as the testing effect. When we lecture to students, or when we present all the information necessary for success, we do not allow student brains to process that information. Author James Lang uses a non-music example in his book, Small Teaching. After months of ordering the same drink from a coffee shop day after day without the barista remembering his order, he asked if she could guess his order. Rather than presenting the information as usual, he challenged her to retrieve it from her brain. She couldn't do it. He then gave her the information as usual, but when he visited the shop the next day, she knew the order before he said it. Her brain had practiced retrieving information and was easily able to recall it a second time.
If we want to build muscle in our bodies, we don't just do 5 push-ups and call it a day. We develop a training routine that allows us to condition our bodies over time. The same is true for learning. If we want students to recall information, we need to provide regular opportunities for conditioning.
Let's take the example of chemistry instructor Brian Rogerson. Rogerson did an experiment over 5 semesters teaching introductory chemistry at Richard Stockton College in New Jersey. For 3 of those semesters, he taught using standard lecture techniques. For the other 2 semesters, he stopped class 10 minutes early and asked students to respond to an ungraded question about the material he just covered. Then, he'd start each following class by reviewing the question from the class prior. The result? In the 3 semesters without those review questions, the rate of students who failed or withdrew was 35%. During the 2 semesters in which he used retrieval practice, that rate fell to 17%. So that worked for Rogerson teaching in person, but what about for asynchronous online instruction? Many of us are using modules to teach on Blackboard. Consider having reading checks, perhaps by adding 1 or 2 questions at the beginning, middle, or end of your module. You can set it up so students can't proceed to the next part of the lesson until they've answered a question. It's also easy to set up quizzes on Blackboard. Consider having a short quiz after each module that doesn't count towards a student's grade. I'll post some other ideas on the open space document, and I hope you will contribute your own.
Just as it's important to practice physical exercises that match the goal you're training for, retrieval practice in the classroom should match the ultimate goals for your course. If your course leads to a final exam consisting of short answer responses, multiple choice questions will not be as effective a mode of training. Just as practicing catching pop-ups will not do much to help a swimmer progress.
To wrap up, let's reflect on what we've learned today. I'll put a question on the screen and read it aloud.
Which story in this video resonated with you? With that story in mind, how can you incorporate retrieval practice into your teaching?
I'd like you to write out, or at least think about, your answer. We will only get better at retrieving information if we practice.